president of our organization, Dr. Clyde Glenn, is also a minister. He's been pastoring Chapel Hill Baptist Church in Clarksdale, Mississippi for 25 years. And on and off, we are family members, so we always go out to support Clyde. And from time to time, we often listen to some of his conversations and his guidances as a minister. And one thing that he always tells us, he said, when the points have been made, that's when you sit down and be quiet. And don't you think that Brandon made the points? Let's give him he did it all, did he not? The only takeaway that I can give you is Jesus saves. We're going to ask Helen to come up now with me, if you don't mind, and we'll go from there. And we'll ask you that you continue to keep the Glenn Family Foundation in your prayers and thoughts. If there's a great opportunity out there that you think that you can engage us with, our numbers are always in the book, and you can look us up on social media, and we can certainly be part of anything that is worthwhile doing to move the dial when it comes to a trauma-informed society. We're about eliminating as much of that as we possibly can through information engaging and sharing, and also in any policies and programs that we can participate in. Helen?
I'd like to first of all thank Chris for doing a great job. Chris was a little bit raspy earlier in the week, and I told him you drink whatever you drink and would do plenty of lemons and be on press play come Thursday, and it all worked out, you all. Thank you. He's done it. It's been a power-packed day, and I just... No, you don't need to. Well, yeah, come on. Wait a minute. Hold up, y'all. He had an intro for me.
Steal my thunder.
Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, she's just going to try to come up and don't let me do my thing.
I was being directed, so forgive me.
All right. Well, we got to close it out. We got to close it out big. We bring up, the Rainmaker. We got to give her, the intro that she deserves, because you all have no idea the amount of work that she puts into this. So, but we'll start, and we'll start like this. Dr. Helen Glenn-Beady is the second daughter and ninth child of Essie B. and William Earl Glenn. She serves as the executive director and secretary of the board of directors for the Essie B. and William Earl Foundation, Glenn Foundation for Better Living, and the ACEs Awareness Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome our fearless leader, Rainmaker, my mama, my sister, my cousin, my auntie, my lunch buddy, Dr. Helen Glenn-Beady.
That is too funny. We do it all in love for family. Chris, thank you. That was kind of cool. I'm glad I stepped back for that. Well, that was really sweet. Yeah, thank you. Again. Okay, awesome. We love it. Listen, today certainly has been a power-packed day, but I think that you will agree that it has been both educational and enlightening. And I just can't thank our sponsors enough. I'd like Dr. Prater and the team from W.K. Kellogg Foundation, if they would just stand just to support. They were visionary in standing with us in this work for, when we talked about the first ACEs conference that we wanted to do, and just how we would laid it out, and Dr. Prater took a small chance on us, and here we are again today. That was on Zoom, our first event 5 years ago. And this is our second in-person event, so thank you all. We appreciate you greatly. To all of our sponsors, you saw them looping. I think some individuals are here from First Commercial Bank. We thank you as well, whoever's left, that looped around the room, and we just want to thank you so much. And it takes partners like you to kind of stand beside us on the visions that we have. Last year, this year's maternal health, our topics are always very trendy, but everything is from the trauma lens with us. There's one thing that we want you to understand here is that you can't separate your head from your body. And I'm surprised, my brother, maybe I'm still in Howard's thunder, but he always says that. But we see the connectivity that if we don't deal with it down here, downstream, we're dealing with it over here at the jail cell. well. And we do quite a bit of work with young people in and out of in Sunflower County and in our own home county of Bolivar County in the Mississippi Delta and other places, spots within the Delta that we're partnering with individuals like Dr. Lisa Haney, UMMC, and the School of Nursing. It's just so many individuals that will tap into us, like Amy Swanson reaching out to us with the Department of Mental Health to say, hey, we heard about you all. And, you know, a good name is better to be chosen than great riches. And I say this all the time. My parents would say this, because your name goes before you before anything does. Now, a couple other things go along with me with my name, but that's okay, all right? I tell people, get in line. There are some other people that's ahead of you to be upset with me. That's all right. That's all right. But to all of our presenters, you are our subject matter experts. Our moderators who've come on, Sherelle, you came off the road from Brazil. I met her some years ago, and at a conference like this. And for some reason, I don't know, we just connected and we embraced, and she's always just been there with us. Drexel University is one of our partners, and you know what? She grants and she gives an opportunity to the Glenn Family Foundation to try and help amplify our voice. And we thank individuals like Rachel Mays with Southern Echo. You know, we're not an advocacy group, but you know, Rachel, I'll send someone like Rachel, and so they are the voices to help us look at issues that's impacting our community. My sweet husband had to leave a little early for a doctor's appointment, but I just can't thank him because, as my family says, this is not just the work that I do, but it's my ministry. This is our give back. This is honoring the legacy of our mother and our father. And Howard, I thank Verna, all of you are my family, that Mama and Daddy would be proud. They would be so proud that their kids are just, you know, doing things in their name and in their honor. We're not out here trying to extol ourselves. That Dr. Jamita Barlow is going to do that for us. Because one of the things that we learned is that we have our heads down. We're working. We're not always out there beating our chests or amplifying our voice about all of the things that we're doing. But we hope that will happen. We'll be able to engender and get all those things out there in a written form. Our participants today, I know you have labored and co-labored in terms of time, from hot to cold, and just sitting. We thank you so very much for all of the agencies that have come to be a part of this from across the state of Mississippi. Across the state of Mississippi. And I do want to give a big shout out to the Department of Child Protective Services. Raise y'all hand. Okay. Because they're the ones who are seeing the children and family members and having to deal with these very issues that our presenters talked about today. So we thank you for coming across the state. And there are several other agencies, but they outnumbered y'all. Okay, so I just happened to mention them. To my siblings who make up our board of directors, Clyde, as he mentioned, Clyde is a psychiatrist by training. He's a quiet one, but he helps to really shepherd the work that we do in our foundation. And he is absent today because his daughter Hannah, as Howard mentioned, is going to be graduating with our nephew Eric on May 24th, my 28th wedding anniversary. They'll be graduating from medical school. Hannah is going to Rush University in Chicago, and she wants to be an OB-GYN. And yes, she's inspired by individuals like Dr. Jolene Sims, who was here with us earlier. But to Clyde, so we thank Clyde for all of his vision and what he does. My brother Howard is our treasurer for our organization, but Howard is my sounding board, my ride or die. At 6:30, I know I'm gonna get a call from Howard because he's gonna be driving into the office, and we are always strategizing, and he's sending an article or I'm sending him something. So this is how our work comes about. Certainly our cousin Chris, our moderator for the day. Now, did he do a great job on my introduction? Yeah. So yeah, you need to hire him out. Get his number now if you want that melodious voice for your event. Exactly. And certainly, you've done a great job. Chris is our MC, and I practically raised Chris. He'd tell you that. That is the truth. And oh, by the way, I named Clyde. Clyde was 2 days old, and it was all of us. It was 11 kids in our family. So, but there's a 5-year gap between everybody else. Everybody's 2 years apart, but Clyde and I are 5 years old. And when he was born on December 20th, one of my mother's friends was visiting, and he was 2 days into his birth, and he had not been named. And she asked him, B and Bruh was my mom and dad's name. They were affectionately known as B and Bruh. And she said, B, you haven't named the child yet? And she said, no, Sis Jordan, I have not. I'm just trying to think of a name. And I was being in the Delta, y'all know about space heaters. I was standing in the space heater as a kid in the room with adults in their business, right? And I said, Mama, I know what we ought to name him. His name should be Clyde Edward Glenn. And that is his name. And I was kind of like Clyde's caretaker, along with other family members like Howard. But so that's one story that, as he got older, he affectionately embraced that with me sharing that. So we were very thankful for him. My eldest niece, Dr. Vernica Whitfield Lucas, this is Eric's mom. Now, Verna don't like me to tell this, but see, Verna is younger than me. But guess what? Verna retired, and I'm not, okay? Verna lost her mom this time last year. And, since that time, I think that, and I feel comfortable saying that I have stepped into that role. Every day, she and I talk several times a day, just embracing, and we just love and appreciate you, Verna, for all that you do in support of the foundation. She's become like my baby sister now. And all of our many volunteers. Indira, where are you? Raise your hand. I hired Indira many years ago with the American Heart Association and mentored her, and along with a couple of other young ladies. They don't know I know this, but let me just tell y'all what they did. I told them, I said, you come to work here, one of the things that you've got to do your first year, you have to work to prove yourself. I said, once you establish a stellar record, you can skate off of that for the rest, the time that you're here. They were so upset with me because I was driving to results. They reported me to HR, y'all. And I said, Indira said, it wasn't me. I know. But nonetheless, Indira is like my daughter, okay? She started in Miami, Florida, in our Fort Lauderdale office, and she is now an associate director, leaving AHA many years ago with the Milton Hersey Foundation, and she is a donor with the Glenn Family Foundation. Indira, we love you and we thank you. And she flew in the other night to come to be a part of this. Liz is the other part of that, her ride or die. Liz, I hired many years ago. For some of you all may or may not know, I owned a boutique. My husband says every 5 years I'm reinventing myself, okay? But I opened a boutique, and in 2005, 2002, we had a big fire. It was actually 6 months after my parents transitioned. My mom and dad died 10 days apart, July of 2002, July 12th and July 22nd. And, but 6 months later, my store burned. So we had a rebuild on the store, and then 9/11 hit, and guess what? But a blessing came for me. For those of you who are in the area know where Bank Plus is on the corner down in Fundren, in that area, well, guess what? I sold my location to Bank Plus. And I love retail, but hey, I moved on to something else at that point. Dr. Brooks, is she here? LaShawn here? Dr. LaShawn Brooks, I met some years ago opening a food pantry for students, addressing hunger and food insecurity for college students. For everybody who does not know, Mississippi has a high rate. That's Dr. LaShawn, my buddy. She was the chief of staff with Dr. Briggs at Mississippi Valley State University, and we opened a pantry there because students in Mississippi, 50.7% of students in Mississippi are either hungry or food insecure. And we don't really think about that. Being the hungriest state of the nation, we really don't think about college students. But the meal plans aren't the same that they were Howard and us when we went to college. They're different now. And so we opened the pantry, was able to equip it with equipment, refrigerator, freezer, all those things. And now that project is in partnership with my husband's organization. He's the president and CEO of the Mississippi Food Network. And now they are feeding about 400 to 500 families every month at Mississippi Valley State University. She's at Alcorn now, and we're doing the same thing. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. And my other buddy, Caroline Wright. Caroline is over here doing logistical work, making sure that we got everybody taken care of. You got your little packages and all. Our speakers received Peter's Pottery in the Delta in Mount Bayou, Mississippi. Peter is a well-known potterer across well, he's internationally known, but that's just a small something. And the little thing that's in their bag is some of our guests have never visited Mississippi. So guess what? They got their piece of pottery is the shape of the state of Mississippi. So we want to thank our speakers. That's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody. Don't forget, when we call on you next year, we need you to answer. That's all we need you to do. My family, as well as everybody, all of my family, we we thank God for you. And lastly but not least, who's left? My husband, I mentioned him earlier. I'm getting to that. Y'all hold on. I'm about to shut it down. The reunion staff, I want to thank the staff because they step in to help do all of the things that we need done. I see Jeremy back there, but certainly to Matt, Chris, Kelly, Tim, Jeremy, Lakeisha, Miss Pat, who's been here forever. We thank you all for all that you've done to make our guests comfortable. Thank you. Yes, I hope you all have been pleased. This is not just where we held the conference today, but for 19 years, this is where my husband and I call home. We lived in reunion for that time. We love all of our vendors, and on October 11th, where's Amy? We're looking forward to Life Health Region 6 coming to join us at Cleveland Central Middle School. The old Cleveland High School was where many of us went to school in Cleveland in Bolivar County. We will hold our 10th I Heal Community Wellness Day. The Glenn Family Foundation was basically founded July 29th, 2014. So guess what, y'all? We're 10 years old. Our first event was in October of the next year in 2015, June. We did a feeding program at the school where our mom was the cook. Our dad was a carpenter. Our mom was a cook, and it was a flagship of the programs that we do for the Glenn Family Foundation. We're 10 years old, and we are looking forward to many of you joining us at that event. It's a mobile event. We usually see about Lisa Haney can tell you, it's at least 500-600 cars that roll through that event, and they're getting all kinds of services, anything from a COVID vaccine to shot. We've got Walgreens. We've got so many partners who join us in that space. Quest Diagnostics, you can get these really high-powered comprehensive wellness through your blood work, comprehensive wellness panels, and we are doing a study where we're looking at, again, that long-term issue around what happened over here with you, and you as the mom here as a kid, and now you're an adult. What was the connection with these things with your health and what's going on now? That ends all of my comments. We thank you all. We thank God for you. We send you with traveling grace and mercy. And as my daddy would say, as the Lord says the same, we look forward to seeing you back here again next year. Thank you.